Welcome back to another Duel Masters 2 deck tournament video. Today we have Nino on the left piloting his 4-color Deckout deck versus Casper, which deck you've seen before actually. It is his MarinoMancer deck. So this matchup I feel like is going to be kind of hard for Casper because, well, Nino's deck is just really built for the whole Deckout plan, but also just to have a better end game than most control decks. So Maru-Ooze right away from Casper, which is a good start because it's going to give him some aggression against his deck, but nothing from Nino first turn here, it looks like. Oh, it looks like he's turned his shields the wrong way. Here we go. Alright, let's see what he does here. Turn 2, there's a Bloody Skeeto coming from Casper, and he swings in, which makes sense because he's really trying. There's a Crystal Memory from Nino here. But yeah, like I said, Casper's really trying to just get some early aggression going, since that, again, Nino's deck is really built for the end game, and it's really hard for Casper to beat him when he gets to the end game. So he's trying to just kind of get something going in the beginning, as fast as possible. All right, let's see what Nino does right here. That's probably going to come something out very soon, like a slash charger, which is very good for Nino here. Get some ramp going and some early slashing going on. This is a slash charger, and obviously Nino is a very like accustomed to just go for the end game plan. I think that's all his deck really does. It's like 50 cards or something, and it's just like trying to like get rid of the opponent's deck and just like try to win the long game with a bunch of removal blockers, getting cards back from mana, card draw, cards back from graveyard, Bliss Totem, Mystic Dreamscape. It's an extremely end game focused deck, and I play against it a lot. And my experience is that the only way to really beat that deck is to play incredibly aggressive. You need to play like an aggro or like a rush deck to really consistently beat it. I feel like. MarinoMancer, which is really good. He's gonna get free cards. Whoa, free light cards right there. It's the Magris or Miel, almost the last card I didn't see. But that's going to be very good for him. There's lost soul from Nino though, so all that hard work from the MarinoMancer is just gonna go out the window. It's very rough. I don't know if like I don't know how many lost soul Nino plays, but I assume he plays like a few, maybe two. I probably play two in his deck, one or two. But it's a very strong card against the control matchup because it just gets rid of all the hard work that the opponent was doing. So another thing that you have to consider about Deckout, its whole strategy is just to get the deck in the graveyard. And the thing about Deckout is that it doesn't have to go for shields. That's one thing that's really strong about it. There's no shield triggers that they have to worry about because they can just basically just only worry about the deck and they don't ever have to go for shields or anything like that. So it does make the deck a lot stronger against those like very trigger heavy decks. Like some decks I'm playing, for example, like in my Liquid People deck, I have like 15 triggers, and again in my like Twin Hand deck, I have like 12, and they just don't do anything against deck. So it's just a very good deck against like the meta because it kind of doesn't really do what most Dumas decks do, which is break shields. It doesn't have to commit to that plan. It can just win the long game by like taking people out, which is extremely powerful. I will be making deck lists about all decks that will feature in the tournament. Once the tournament has concluded, I've uploaded all the games that I have from it. Which again won't be all the games that happened during the tournament. I wasn't able to record all of them because a lot of them were going on at the same time. So while this match is being recorded, another match is going on at the same time. So I can only record like one match at a time, sadly. So um, Slash Charger here once again. He does play four of those, and they are extremely dangerous and very very good at like removing the early threats or like just the late game threats that you know that Casper might have in his deck. So it's a very like dominant like start here. Obviously he has three shields left as a proc. Probably gonna choose one of the blockers, probably the Skeeto, yeah. Because he wants the attacker from the MarinoMancer to get in there. Just see if he can break the last shields and kill him. But one thing I've noticed about Casper's deck is that it's really important for him to have initiates in play. Because if he doesn't have initiates in play, he can't actually play his Crazy Valkyrie. So if you can keep the board like kind of free of initiates, which isn't easy because he runs a lot of them, you just like touch them all and he has like, Magris, but he also has things like Sarius as a cranium clamp, more discard. And is that a MarinoMancer coming, or is that something else? Is that Surfer? Nice. Bounce the Thrash, and then he can come in, but there's Natural Snare to get rid of the MarinoMancer. But there are not other MarinoMancers coming in, and there was no tricks from Nino, but with one shield left, maybe Casper has a chance here. He has two attackers, so obviously Nino can play the Thrash Crawler again, but maybe Casper has something he can do against that, so we'll see. There's so much mana from Nino over here, like he's got so much mana because of the slash charges, and he also runs things like Eureka Charger and Volcano Charger in this deck. Nino's deck is just built completely on the Deckout plan. That's really what he's trying to do. It's not quite the same deck that people play in IDC, of course, but it is a very much more greedy version of it, I'd say. So Volcano Charger to get rid of the Surfer. And, at this point, he kills MarinoMancer so he can't attack. And Casper is just stuck in top deck mode at this point. It's going to be very difficult for him to kind of make a comeback. I know he has one shield left, but, it's still going to be difficult, so. His deck is super greedy. He also runs things like Mana Nexus to get back things from his mana zone into his shields, like his tricks and stuff. So he can do like Mana Nexus loops, and if you combine that with like something like Bliss Totem and Mystic Dreamscape, it's like basically infinite shields as long as you can kill Bliss, because it's so much like value. So it's very, very strong. Just the late game is so hard to deal with for this deck, especially for Casper's deck, because it's Casper is running a control deck, but it's nowhere near as greedy as Nino's is. So he's more like inclined to play against the aggro, rush, and also like different other control decks. He's not really designed to play against these kind of like Deckout decks. They don't really play the rules to do master the same way other decks do. Like they don't have to break the shields, which shield triggers mean nothing. MarinoMancer once again. There's a Miel, a Sarius, and there's also a Glory Snow, which is actually a really funny card that Casper's playing in his deck. He's been doing a lot of work against some of the rush, like not rush, ramp decks of the format. So during this tournament, but it's not a card you see very often. Slash Charger once again, and you can see how fast Casper's deck like runs out of fuel, and how much he's kind of forced to, play the more aggressive game against this deck, because he removes the meal so he can tap in his block. That's really smart from Nino. I think both zombie carnivals from Casper is gone, so he can actually like mount any kind of attack right now. But again, he does have a Sarius here, so the question is, does he have to craze? Because if he has to craze Valkyrie, then he does. He does have to craze Valkyrie, so tap down. That might be game. That might be game. Hold on. Oh, Terror Pit from Nino to kill the craze, and no, still not the game right here. Still, something that Nino can do to win this game, which is the insane thing about Mana Nexus coming from Nino. I think he put in another Mana Nexus actually. So that was scary though. He could have lost that if he didn't have a pit. There's a slash, get rid of the loco, so you can't discard and can't get a body on board. I think Cat just has a Sarius now on board, and there's a Sajimol, which doesn't really do much. He can't attack players, so but there's a meal to tap down. Can't really do it in any other order because he doesn't have any attackers. Obviously, he has the Sarius as well, but he needs another Craze, and I do think Craze is out. I think Craze is in the graveyard at this point, so or in the shield maybe. So I don't know. It's not looking good here. It's not a Mana Nexus, and yeah, this is really rough. I don't know what Casper can really do in this situation. I think he just doesn't have much. There's not much he can do. I think um, he's gonna deck out very soon. There's a Photoside, but that can't attack the Thrash because it's not a light creature, so doesn't do much either. So yeah, Slash Charger removing the what is this? He has like 2 cards left or something. So it's very tough now at this point. Draws a single last card, and it's just like what can you do really? You can play another touch him all, but go for shield. Neo just doesn't even block. He's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna Mana Nexus again. Uh, put in a slash charge into the shield, just in case he somehow doesn't draw his last card. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Just can't deal with the deck out plan. It's too greedy at the end game. And that's it for this game. I really think that matchup is incredibly difficult. And I think Nino won almost all of his games because again, there's not a lot of aggro and rush strategies in our meta. I think my twin count deck has an okay matchup against it if I get a good start, but otherwise it's just really difficult to surmount any kind of like sustainable offense, in the late game. So, but yeah, that's it for this game. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Stay safe, everyone.